Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome back to Prehistoric Kingdom. To quickly recap, in the very first episode part, which was just the last episode, we built our entrance, which I am still absolutely loving. I think it looks fantastic. Now we need to do things like lighting and stuff like that. We'll get to it. And we also built our first exhibit with our Uranusauruses, which look really great, by the way. I'm always impressed with the quality of the models inside of this game, and this doesn't disappoint. This is one of the newer dinosaurs as well, so it's a good jump start to the new park, really focusing in and honing in on that idea. Also, my word, we got a lot of dung in this place. Anyways, today's episode is going to be more focused, and a lot more stuff will hopefully get done. We need to work on a couple of smaller food courts. We're going to start splitting up this idea of food courts as we go along, instead of having one giant massive one, which I still think really worked well. I don't know. I'll probably end up changing my mind, but we need to work on that. And then we need some place for all of this dung to go. And I think it's a good idea to go ahead and start working on the idea of the role play aspect regarding our compost and our ability to feed our animals. So we're going to work on that, figure out what that looks like in total. Totally see a section over here being parted off just for that area. But anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I do hope you enjoy it. I am super excited about the park, and based on the comments from the last episode, so are you. So we're going to just dive right on in, and I think what we're going to work on is working on one of our new animals. Now, one of the cool things about this is that if we did do it by time period, again, everything here is in the Cretaceous. So we can get our Lilianasaura, or I butchered it, and our Psittacosaurus both in, do they need the same exhibit is the real big question. Wetland, temperate, and coastal. Let's go back. We have wetland and coastal. So these will actually work extremely well together. And I think that's good. Well, we don't need that. And so that's possibly what we'll do today, is we can have a good cross exhibit. So that way we can kind of kill two birds with one stone. I almost wish I could like copy and paste this entire exhibit space, because that would be really nice. I don't know that we can though. And honestly, I don't know if we need that much space. But what we do need to make sure of is that everything is right as rain, and that this will eventually lead to the Cretaceous exhibit. And there's definitely things I want to try and do with this area. I'm going to kind of look up some actual theorized Cretaceous landscape, as it were, to see if we can't make something really cool that goes into this main exhibit. Because again, these are like children's entry exhibits, as it were, whereas we need to start making some big bad boy exhibits as we get into this space. So we're definitely going to go ahead and work on that. And then, yeah, we're definitely going to work on some food courts. So I think it's time to come on in with this and make a smaller yet still exemplary exhibit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now, this is a little bit interesting. Now, I'm a little bit torn because I feel like we probably could split this in half and do one side forested, one side not, and still kind of have a good mixed bag, as it were. And we might see. Let's see. In terms of crowding, there is like 0 crowding, and I don't think they require a whole lot. So what we could do, let's test things out live, because I do care about something making sense for you guys. Go ahead and move this just over here. And so if we were to, oh wow, okay, no, that's not what I wanted at all, actually. Thank you very much, game, but I appreciate it. And then let's just split this like right down the line, like that. Now, what we need to do then is separate everyone. So we have our Psittacosaurus, which can go over here. We have our, let's see, in terms of crowding, no, we're totally good. So we're going to switcheroonie over there. So I am a little bit confused here, I guess, because we have creatures like this adorable thing. Snow is saying that they don't like forests. Am I correct in reading this? But so are they. But they are completely fine with it. It's almost as though we need more forests, and then that they'll switch. Now, again, these are different, they're different, what is it called? I always get this mixed up. But they're all Amica Graphica, and they all have the same. So I guess I'm very, very confused. Ooh, we can listen to them. Interesting. So, I'm a little bit, yeah, I'm confused. What we're going to do is we're going to say, forget that. We're going to combine them all into one space, and they'll adjust. Am I right? So maybe if I remove just a tiny bit of forest, and we'll be good. But that's a very fine line that I have to draw, because I need to be able to say, okay, that's enough. Okay, so they should be good with that. And these guys are right on the cusp of it. So I'm going to keep it like this. And I'm not sure why snow now doesn't like the forest. So it's a little bit of a weird thing. But regardless, what's interesting is that we're at a 90% animal welfare and that we're at an A+ status. So that's all that matters. We need to make sure that we don't have any floating trees and things of that nature. And then we need to get into our park services, and we need to add our gate, which we can add just a simple gate just right here. Totally fine. And then we will get our staff rocking and rolling on that. Now, as I'm sure I mentioned with Timeline Havoc, by the way, Timeline Havoc, I'm sure it's obvious, but I just want to state it for clarity. Timeline Havoc comes in behind current Havoc, and that's where I kind of explain all the details and go have lots of fun there. And so it isn't necessarily something that I think about in the interim. I'm just mainly playing around, and whenever I discover my groove, I'm rocking with it. And then that's simply the way that it goes. And so Timeline Havoc may repeat things that regular Havoc says, or regular Havoc in the moment may repeat things that Timeline Havoc says, because they don't mesh together until the final edits. But regardless, we're making our systems here, and we are trying to make sure that we keep the place clean on top of it. Now we might come back here and add some stuff, but remember from Timeline Havoc that we're wanting to create a little bit of a better space and a better viewing experience for our people who may come over here and want to chill, hang out, like this right here. I love it. I think that's great. And kind of encourage the kids to just play around, have some fun, and then mom and dad can chill while people are lining up to have a good time there. Now, in terms of our finances, it was just something we do have to be mindful of. We are still consistently staying in the negative, but entry fees are going up, and we're getting a lot more people in. We only had like 40 beforehand. Not too shabby. We have our food supplies, which are going to be based over here. We do have a lot of plants, and we do have some insects, and we're bringing those in automatically. So we should be okay and right as rain there. However, I do want to bring in some more stock people so we can figure out get our needs taken care of a little bit faster, a little bit easier. So we have 2 cashiers right now. We're going to hire to fill automatically, which is awesome. We do need a few more laborers. So we're just going to go ahead and get the best of the best. Those are expenses. Spare no expense whatsoever is my motto. These guys are all level 1s, so I don't think it truly matters. There we go. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and get one more laborer I lied. We're going to get 2. Cool. All right. So we have a lot more laborers, which should start bringing in a lot of people so they can start getting things stocked, because that's basically what we want to make sure that they do. Now, as we go over into our park logistics, we need to make sure that our own people are taken care of. So we have storage produce. We have a staff center. What does the staff center look like? Okay, that's just all of this stuff. I do wonder how we make sure that we keep morale high. But we can get to that point when we get there. And then in terms of, let's see, produce goods. Okay, we are all right there. What does our electricity look like, I wonder? But maybe we don't have to worry about that just at the time being. I'm sure it'll let us know when those things are happening. We're going to call the staff to refill these, although eventually they will start doing that automatically, which is also really, really nice. All right, so we have our paddock. Paddock? Said that weird. We have it ready to rumble. It's ready to go. It is featuring 82%, so we'll get there. We'll get there. It's fine. We're getting people rolling in, but not a ton, so we need to work on what is needed. And so what we need, obviously, is food. If we were to go over to our park management, we'll see that nutrition, shopping, and entertainment are... Oh, I love that the T-Rex is in there. And I also love how its tail is just hidden. So we don't have a lot of entertainment, we don't have any nutrition, and we don't have any shopping, which is going to cause a big issue. So one of the things that I wanted to do over on this side and over on here, kind of flanking both areas, is a smaller but still nice food court system. We'll probably end up moving the bathrooms, although they are queuing. That they aren't very happy whatsoever. They're like, I don't want to go to the bathroom. This person really needs to go to the bathroom. Okay, yeah, we definitely need to work on that. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super thrilled with the day-night cycle. I feel it's a little too fast. But anyways, what we're going to do here is we are going to look through all of the things that we need for our systems here. So what I want to kind of focus on is splitting up the large and the small combined together to make some good things. So we have like a shopping center. Oh, we actually do have, okay, gifts, apparel, fast food, cafe, Sweet Tooth Cafe, and then we have the smaller things, as well as bathrooms, because we definitely, certainly need those. So I think what we're going to do is split things up. Yeah, I kind of think we need some of the bigger restaurants right off the bat, and then we can go off in distance with other things. That's not a bad idea whatsoever. I love that this automatically pops up as well, because it gives us a lot of options. Oh yeah, this is great. This is super cool. Okay, we need to place our areas again, and I don't know that Timeline Havoc will come back in, but we at least do another time lapse, because I think it'll be super crucial in order to make things a little more cohesive, where I'm not spending hours and hours making something for you guys. Time. Let's get to it. All right, everybody, welcome to Timeline Havoc once again. So this was an interesting build for me, because I'm so used to building in large, giant spaces for a lot of these restaurant builds that I've done in the past, that building a smaller food court while still incorporating some of the larger restaurants presented a decent difficulty. So what I want to try and focus on is building several smaller restaurant areas rather than one giant one. So as a result, what you're going to see here is a lot of movement around to try and figure out what works best and what angle works best, because you don't want an awkward angle restaurant coming in. But making fine-tune adjustments is what's always going to be a big part in this. And then figuring out what restaurant to add with it. Do we do 2 food restaurants? Do we do a food and a shop? Do I do a food and a suite, or shop and a suite? So kind of figuring out that dynamic is going to be a big part in making these food courts that are going to be very relevant. So in this case, I found a cafe and one of the other food restaurants, or I actually think that's a gift shop, and it worked pretty darn well. Now, what I don't like in part of these restaurants, and all of them actually, are the predetermined foundations basically. So you see me there taking all of these out, which is pretty much going to be a staple going forward because I want to be able to add my own natural footpaths and natural spaces. So we're going to extend that little park area, or at least the visitor area. We're going to extend it all the way and make it part of the food court. And I think that's going to be a great addition. It's going to look fantastic. It does look fantastic. And I think that's kind of what we'll do. We'll section these out in the future to work on that and then still incorporate nature in, because nature's just, it looks great. It functions well. And I think everyone enjoys that, you as the viewer, and I think, you know, role playing as the guests. So we'll always make sure we have nature built in everywhere, and then also just experiment for the heck of experimenting. Does this archway need to be there? No. Does it look cool? And would I want to go under it as a kid or as an adult to be able to see what's on the other side? Absolutely, I would. And so that's what we're going to do. And we're going to have ample seating because you know me, or if you don't know me, I love ample seating and being able to have everywhere be just functional. As a kid or as a parent with 3 kids, seating is absolutely crucial to me. So being able to make that happen is 100% what's going to happen. And then I love the prefabs because I don't have to spend hours and hours building every detail, which isn't realistic for me on this channel to be able to do. And so I love the prefabs because it gives me a solid base and I can still utilize my creativity to modify that to fit the space that we're rocking in. So you see me do this, and you'll see me do this continually throughout all the things, getting one of the big prefab spaces and then being able to modify it to fit what I want to accomplish. And then so that's kind of how I operate, and hopefully that doesn't bug you. Haven't heard anyone complain about it, so I think it works well, and I think people understand that, you know, there are channels that build every minute detail, and that's fantastic. I would love to be able to, but realism sets in with me having a very short amount of time, essentially working 2 full-time jobs plus running a channel. So it all works out though. Being able to make even more seating is awesome. And then just some fine-tuned details. We're going to add a couple of kiosks here. We're going to add, switch out the bathroom, and we're going to do a few things just to really wrap up the space and make it, again, cohesive, because that is extremely important, is the idea of making something cohesive and relevant that isn't just me spitballing and messing around for the pure sake of messing around. Things do still need a purpose, and they need a reason for why they were there. In this case, directing people to where they can and can't go to sit down, expanding the bathrooms, doing all of that stuff, which is one of the things that I absolutely love. And so overall, this food court space turned out really great for me, and I think it has a chance to evolve as we expand the park and as we move along to make each food court its own unique space, to where no one's like, I could have gotten a burger over there. Well, no, why do I want to have a burger in the Cretaceous versus the Jurassic? Things of that nature, which I think add a cool variety to the park and what's going to bring in people both into the park itself and you as a viewer, to where you're not to be, oh, here he goes with another food court. No, it's going to be different. And I think that's a really, really positive thing that I personally enjoy doing. And I think you definitely will see it as the park evolves. One of the things that I love. All right, so not a bad start. We're not going to flesh out both of these areas because I'm still trying to figure out logistically how to make things work, and we don't want to go overboard. Now, so it's rainy. It's not super great. We're going to go in super fast forward time and hope that this passes relatively quick. Let's take a look at our finances though, just so we can see where we're at. So we're not doing too shabby. We've actually got a decent entry fee rocking and rolling. Our donations are going up. Our food, drink, and shopping are naturally going to be a lot better. And overall, our park is much more satisfactory now that we actually have something to actually do, per se. So that's going to help go up the facilities as 5 out of 5, which is going to be awesome. And then our rating will go up as we get more species in, as soon as the diversity picks up. But you can see here that we already have some great experiences that are already going on in the park. Now, as I mentioned, we want to start one more big thing before we go. And that is the interactive part of the exhibit, where we're going to then get our guests to come in and start working on different things. So for instance here, we have to get a compost heap, which will take the compost, turn it into fertilizer, and we can go and do the various things needed to make all of our stuff. Now, this will expand as we go on. So this is not a finished product by any definition of the term. And what we're going to do, we are going to expand this first to accommodate the larger facilities, and we will enclose all of this, things of that nature, because no one needs to see this aspect of the park. Oh wow, that only is merch and meals. Okay, so we don't need that at the moment. Never mind. Forget that. I didn't realize that there were goods and there's produce. So we definitely want to do a small produce, or small goods rather, and then we might just expand our produce. That's not up. I should have just aligned it to different thing. There we go. And then we need another large produce. Well, what is this? This is a storage produce small. Do I have two things? Oh, I think I have two things right next to each other. That's what I do. Okay, I do have that. Okay, well, let's go ahead and split from the group, because that doesn't need to be that way at all. And then we can bulldoze that. And then we, again, just need another small produce section here that I think will work all right. We don't need necessarily to have another big facility area. We just need something that works. Okay, cool. And again, like I really want to stylize this up, but I don't think right now is the time or place for it. I think we'll be okay there. This, we're good there. So what we need now is we need to make our, I would say the compost heap can be part of the like exhibit, as in they can see it, but I don't think guests need to be in the compost heap, as it were. So what we need to do, we're going to go ahead and start working on a little bit wider pathways for our people here. I think a 4 to kind of get the basic outlines going is going to be satisfactory, but we also then need to figure out where we're going to go for the other things. So right now, all we need are insects and plants. That's all we need. So we can easily start that. And we can be like, hey, yo, y'all want to come hang out and make some plants and stuff. Because I think that would be really heckin' cool. So what we want to do is we want to make this a great interactive experience to cater to all different kinds of family types. And we're going to have a big entrance, which will allow them to kind of have like a staging area. And then we can really dig into our produce and our insect section. So we're going to rock that there, and then we're going to go and have our plants be kind of catty corner to it, as it were. Yeah, these kind of need to, I feel like these two in particular need to be like our big first experiences that the guests get. So we're going to go ahead and rock a 6 meter wide, and we are going to have that come right here. There we go. That's a really cool thing. I really like it. And then let's go ahead. I don't know that I actually want to connect this. I kind of want to make it a closed loop deal. But we'll have to see. I think that'll work for now. I think I like that. I like where it's going. And then we can get our plants, which is our next biggest support here. But let's go ahead and drop that right there. And then, as mentioned, we want our compost heap to be accessible to our staff only, but we do want the ability for them to see, hey, this is quite literally how the foods for animals are made. And we're gonna have 2 of those guys kind of just like back to back right here, but they need to again not be accessible, which we'll work on accessibility in a different part of the game in terms of like making sure that's sectioned off. So we got our, we're gonna go ahead and make that 3. And then again, once again, gotta mention, this is for the staff. Almost said zoo, it's not a zoo. There we go. And then we can simply just move this, be a little more accommodating over like that. Awesome. And then what we'll do, just for kicks and giggles, because I know how kids are, I know how everyone is, we'll go ahead and, is that the lowest? It is the lowest. We're just going to go ahead and section this part of the park off. Actually, yes, we'll do that, although we will have the connector here. Go ahead and go into this. We will have 2 connectors. Well, no, we will just simply make this space like that. I'm going to go ahead and this part build in, and then we're just going to add a gate here. There we go. So that way they can go straight in. Now, let's see. We need to split this off. We probably need to split all of these off. All right, what do we have going on here? What's up? No dung production is halted. Okay, that's not a problem. We will be getting that stuff in, so it's not a huge deal. I think we'll be good there. What are they doing? I think he's just walking around having some fun. What are we doing? Keeper William is cleaning. Oh, that's right. So eventually they will do their own stuff. That's right. Okay, that's cool. No, I like that. This means this keeper is going to come in. He's going to start cleaning this section out as well, which is going to be great. That's what we want to see happen. Cleanliness is not happening right now, and that's okay. That's not a huge ordeal. But let's go ahead and we're going to spend our last little few minutes here working on making this a nice, awesome entrance to kind of be able to feed the animals, as it were. And let's go ahead and get to that. Right, welcome back everybody. Well, that was actually a pretty fun little build. I got a little more detailed than I anticipated, but that's typical, and I'm completely and totally okay with it. This is going to be a modular section, 100%. We're going to expand it. It will get greater and greater. As you can see here, we are turning dung into fertilizer, which will then hopefully, that is fertilizer or some compost, as it were. And we're able to start making our own plants and our own insects as well once we're able to get around to it. But this is a really fun section. I'm actually really cool. I will say this. I went super generic here because I would love your input on what we should call the Dino Food Farm. Now, we can call it the Dino Food Farm if everyone's like, you know what, that's pretty accurate. But there will come a point where we're not doing just dinosaurs and we're going to get into our mammals. And so I wanted to make sure that everything is rocking and rolling there, because it is important to me. And again, your opinion does matter in the development of this park. I want to make that abundantly clear. But I really thought I love the aspect of the two insects coming in to really make this into a cool thing. So we might call this the Dino Food Farm. It may stay like that. I don't know. We'll have to see. But regardless, I wanted a really cool space for the guests to come in and feel like they are contributing to the park, because, well, in a lot of ways, they are contributing to the park. In terms of our park management, the animal diversity isn't great, but that's okay. We need some fanfare. We need some entertainment, as it were, so we can start working on that. But overall, everything is working well. Entertainment modules to unsatisfied areas. We could do something else here where people come in, but I think that's just a really heckin' cool way to come into the space and seeing that giant thing there. And then just to be able to see. Now, again, this stuff will be hidden in the future. We may do something right here to work on that in the future. I don't really know. But outside of that, this is a really good place to end the episode. And I think we've got a really awesomely solid part coming in and rocking it. Now, again, we're going to work on things like there's no stock for the meals. Do we have meal stock here? We do have meal stock, actually. It's just not it's not super operable, in which case we probably need to go ahead and hire some more laborers. Let's go ahead and do that just to wrap up the episode really quick. We do need a lot of laborers. Actually, a lot of them are idle, so they're not really doing anything. Open staff management. I want to be able to eventually be able to designate certain areas, and I think maybe we can do that through research in the future. I'm not entirely sure. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and just like chill right here, watch our people get into their dino food farm and walk around in the area. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. Your support just means the world to me, and I do truly mean that, because, well, without your support, I don't really get to do this. So I'm greatly appreciative of it, and I hope that you feel that. I hope you feel that from me. If you want to support the channel, though, you can totally do so by giving the video a like, subscribing to the channel, also leaving your comments in the comment section. Again, we need a name for the Dino Food Farm, or just need general suggestions overall. This is also a really cool backdrop right here that I'm really digging. But anyways, the other way that you can support is by, one, not going on the rocks. Don't climb on the rocks inside of a place like this. But also, if you want to go above and beyond and become a channel member, it is in no way required. However, you do get early access to every video that I can put early access on. So that's a benefit, as well as, well, your opinion does have a little more weight because you are backing. But again, totally don't have to do it. But it is always going to be appreciated above and beyond. Thank you so much for watching this next episode of Prehistoric Kingdom. This is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next one.